Welcome back to Good Morning India. Our big focus this morning, a series of tough measures to battle Delhi and the National Capital Region's air emergency as toxic smog continues to envelop these regions. Now, all schools and colleges are going to be shut until further notice. That's what the Commission for Air Quality Management has said. Now, they are likely to return to online classes again. A 9-page order issued by this Air Quality Monitoring Panel, the CAQM, has also advised the state governments of Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and UP to allow at least 50% of the staff to work from home until the 21st of November. Private firms are also being encouraged to allow at least 50% of their staff to work from home. Several other measures as well. Construction activity stopped with just a few essential exceptions. The order calls for heavy penalties for those who are responsible for stacking construction material or waste. Only 5 out of 11 thermal power plants in Delhi and NCR are going to be operative in this period. States have also been directed to stop the entry of trucks to the national capital, except for those that carry essential commodities. This will, of course, be reviewed once again after the 21st of November. So, finally, clearly, this is now battleground, that a war that needs to be won, but all these measures, have they come too late? Well, let's take this straight across. Two panelists who are joining us this morning. Santosh Harish, Fellow at the Center for Policy Research, is with us this morning. Dr. Hemant Deshmukh, the Dean of KEM Hospital in Mumbai, is with us. And that's because Mumbai has also been facing massive air pollution levels, very unlike that city given its proximity to the sea. Bhabreen Kandhari, environmentalist and member of My Right to Breathe, is also with us. Santosh Harish, your thoughts first on the measures that we are now seeing being outlined. Do you believe that this is actually going to make a difference given the levels to which air pollution have already climbed this year?
Thanks for having me. No, I think as you put it, it's not obvious that this has been done in a timely way. Arguably, you could say that much of what we experience, should have actually been tackled months before, weeks before. That said, I'm glad that the Commission on Air Quality Management, this new, very powerful body that was created by an act of Parliament, has taken a substantive action. I think this is the first sort of substantive effort we have seen from their end. But I mean, the questions, remain about whether when you have a graded response action plan, something that has been in place for years now, whether every year we need to sort of rely on this sort of last minute intervention in a very reactive, way. Must we keep reinventing the wheel? Why cannot the graphs, for example, be revisited early on when there isn't sort of hazardous levels of air pollution all around us? Why can't these actions be taken based on forecasts? So in some ways, this particular action has been justified based on that. But yeah, I mean, I think like you said, the timing leaves much to be desired. But I'm glad that the Commission has taken some effort. Will this make a big difference? I'm not 100% sure it will. It will be a small, it will help to a small extent. But that's perhaps all that we can expect.
Right. At this point, every little step counts, presumably. Dr. Hemant Deshmukh, your thoughts. We're seeing these emergency measures now in Delhi and its surrounding areas, but really farm fires and other issues contributing to almost a pan-India problem at this stage. Even Mumbai has seen sort of, very high pollution levels. Are you seeing an increase in respiratory illnesses that you're treating? And, do you believe that emergency measures at this point will work?
Yeah, good morning. What Delhi has seen in the last few days, I think it is being replicated in the city of Mumbai because of its proximity to the coast. We have something which is right now low temperatures, we have low wind speed, we have high humidity, and these are the factors which are definitely not modifiable But the things which are modifiable and contribute to the air quality index is definitely vehicular traffic and something which is garbage burning from either the dumping grounds or probably from the chimneys of chemical industries. These two modifiable factors, especially the vehicular traffic, can definitely be restricted. What we are really interested is the particulate matter, which is 2.5 or maybe probably 5, which gets suspended in the air, and this quantum of air which is respirable, these particulate matter enters the lower respiratory tract, and this triggers a mechanism wherein we get a lot of lower respiratory tract infections. And this is the time of the season, or this is the time of the year that we see a lot of asthma patients coming back to the hospital with probably a lot of wheezing and low respiratory tract infections. What we need to understand is that anything which is more than 10 is going to be very hazardous. Anything which is less than 5 particulate matter, obviously this is respirable, and you need to reduce this definitely by putting a lot of curbs on vehicular traffic and definitely adopting green energy as the days come by or as the years come by.
Dr. Deshmukh, your thoughts on sort of shutting down schools and colleges at this point? Are you seeing more cases of respiratory illness and distress among children? Is it really advisable at this point, when there's been such a long hiatus anyway in children going to school, to extend that further?
Yeah, I think anyway Bombay is trying to restrict the entry of children into the schools right now. What we are planning probably in the last week of November in the city of Mumbai. And definitely this is going to be a lockdown for the colleges and the schools also. This pandemic has seen a lot of lockdown. This is one kind of lockdown which is going to benefit the children in particular. And definitely once the air quality index improves, I think we can definitely take a call, though I am not directly responsible for opening up of the schools because of the air quality index.
Okay. Bhavleen Kandari, both as an environmentalist, an activist for clean air, but also as a parent, your thoughts on this, because kids have been away from school for an extended period of time already. Just when there was a sense of normalcy, now once again they're going to be, away from school again. Your thoughts on this? Do you think that it's necessary at this point because of the pollution levels we're seeing?
This is a very catch-22 situation, as a parent especially, because you want the children now going back to schools and, taking on their regular routines. But obviously, we know the AQI is poor, as well as I also firmly believe that the masses, it doesn't matter to them because they are anyway out. They are, they don't have the purifiers or homes which can protect them. So it's quite, firstly, I don't want to even call these measures. These are all reactions. These are all knee-jerk reactions, because the measures is something that we should have taken throughout the year. Whether it was, absolutely not cutting trees, or making sure the waste management is in place, or vehicular, you didn't even add one public transport bus, into the cities. Anything, everything, it doesn't matter which government or governments, but there were just too many, lapses, and we don't do strategic moves. We want to do only photo optic stuff, and that is the result we are in right now, and we will be again. If we are just concentrating on smog towers and smog guns, those are not going to be the solutions. The thermal power plants don't have to shut down for these few days. They have to regulate their norms. The emission norms have to be regulated throughout the year, for all thermal power plants. So every source of pollution has these shortcomings that we are not working on, and that is what we really need to do seriously. And like you said, for these measures of shutting down schools, work from home for that matter, that is anyway a very good solution. And it's not like we had good air throughout the year. We had only one day of good air in October. Right. So it's not like the air was clean. So this should be anyway encouraged with most institutions, and this is a step forward, for future, for further years. It's not a 2 month, 6 month problem. If we have to work on this on a war footing. It has to be, now permanent habits that we will have to bring in, whether it's the government or the citizens.
Fair enough. Santosh Harish, do you, agree with that assessment that these are in effect knee-jerk reactions rather than sort of permanent ongoing changes? And until we have those coming into operation, it's really not going to change. It's presumably this time of the year, the sort of combination of circumstances, farm fires, the weather factors, vehicular pollution, all kind of coming together when people can actually experience the bad air firsthand. But really, if you look at the rest of the year, we're not exactly breathing clean air either.
No, that's exactly right. I think we're locked into this cycle where the only time we take air pollution seriously is when we're able to sort of see it and smell it. That's a terrible way to approach it because pollution levels are poor in much of North India for more than half the year, not just in Delhi. And this requires year-round efforts, right? Air pollution levels are also very poor in many rural parts of India, in industrial parts of India, right? So this requires a year-round nationwide effort. I completely agree that even when it comes to, like city-specific actions, things that are part of these graded response action plan type measures, waste burning, construction dust, this requires, sort of implementation throughout the year. You cannot suddenly get compliance. Suddenly people won't stop waste burning. I mean, this is not the right way to think about it. Right? Going back to your earlier question, I certainly don't think that locking down things, shutting down schools is the answer. In many ways, it's sort of a signal of defeat that, dekho humse na kuch na ho payega, right? This is just beyond us and we are unable to sort of tackle air pollution on a regular basis and therefore have to shut down activities.
Right.
Children are not necessarily less exposed to air pollution in most homes compared to their schools. So I don't quite know why this particular trade-off is being made. Arguably that they're better off in schools, and you identify, schools as one of the areas where proactively defensive measures are taken. Proactively are setting up purifiers and so on in schools, in hospitals, to make this environment.
Right. I think that's a very important point that you make, Santosh Harish. I mean, a lot of this also seems to be really a carryover of restrictions that were already being done for the lockdown, and it seems not a lot of effort has been put into sort of thinking out of the box. It's like, this has worked in the past because of the pandemic. Let's just carry on with this. So it's more sort of being in limbo than anything else. But Dr. Deshmukh, your advice to people at this point, how can they protect themselves against sort of respiratory illnesses? What precautions should they be taking, even in a situation which seems so all-encompassing?
Yeah, following this pandemic of COVID-19, the air quality index is definitely not modifiable right away for the next 2 weeks. But what I would advise everybody is to avoid a lot of vehicular traffic or walking along roads without a proper mask. And this is going to affect them in a very long period because inhaling anything which is particulate matter 2.5 or more is going to be very harmful for their lower respiratory tract. Whatever the particulate matter they are taking inside the nose and the lower respiratory tract is going to trigger a mechanism wherein the allergic response is going to definitely cause a lot of respiratory infection amongst the citizens of Mumbai or Delhi, or probably in the entire country. I would advise them that they should remain indoors until they want an emergency solution outside their homes. This is only a modifiable factor. But as everybody has pointed out, what we need to understand as preventing this, probably the next winter is going to be a big task, and enforcing all probable avoidable measures will definitely help in the long run.
All right. Thank you all very much indeed, Santosh Harish, Dr. Hemant Deshmukh and Bhavneen Kandhari, for being with us this morning.